Hi everybody, it's Abby. Welcome back to my astrology channel. This video is on progressed moon in Sagittarius. So your progressions are different than your natal placements, and if you're looking for a natal moon in Sagittarius, this is not the right video for you, but I will leave a link in the box below so that you can click on that if you need to. So your progressions are your natal placements sped up one day for every year you've been alive, which sounds strange, and it is, but there's a video I did on what progressions are, so I'll leave a link to that below as well. But essentially, progressions work on the concept that the micro equals the macro. So kind of like how if you look at what's going on inside of an atom, you have the nucleus, and then you have protons within the nucleus, right? And then you have electrons. And when we learn in school, we learn that they're kind of orbiting around the nucleus. It's not actually true. There's more like an electron cloud going on. They don't really understand electrons very well. But what we learned in school was that they orbited, right? So basically mirrors the solar system. The sun is in the middle, like the nucleus, and then the planets are like electrons going around it. Your progress chart represents your evolving self. So it's basically your natal potential, which is kind of like your thumbprint astrologically, and it shows what you've done with that potential, or I like to think of it as filters that are put on you. So for example, I'm an Aries sun, and I've gone through 30 years of a progressed Taurus sun, and next month my progressed sun will be moving into Gemini. So I have my Aries sun, and then there's like a sort of filter of Taurus over it, and now there'll be another filter of Gemini. So they're accumulative, like they're not, you don't switch out. These are all accumulating experiences that you're having. Now, the progressed moon specifically represents your evolving needs and relationships. And because the transiting moon takes 2.5 days to change signs, your progressed moon takes 2.5 years to change signs. So it's the fastest moving progression. The way you can look up where your progressed moon is, and you'll have to know your time of birth for this, but you can go to astro.com, and in the extended chart selection, you're going to choose from the drop down either natal and progress chart or progress chart. So when your progressed moon goes into Sagittarius, it's a huge sigh of relief because you've just come out of a dark time. When you have progressed moon in Scorpio, and I've done a video on this, I'll leave a link below for that as well. It's like survival mode for 2.5 years. Like horrible things are usually happening to you. It's like a dark night of the soul type of experience. So when it changes to Sagittarius, there's usually an immediate feeling of relief. Now, you might have something happen in your life, you probably will have something happen that sort of is the catalyst to you getting out of survival mode. When I was going through my Scorpio progression, I was not making enough money, and I was barely able to keep my home at that time. Right around the time my progressed moon entered Sagittarius, I got my current job, and it was like a huge financial burden was relieved for me. And because of that, and because of the fact that I had survived the progressed Scorpio moon with my home, like with nothing had really been lost to me that was significant, other than my previous job and a long-term relationship, but that all turned out to be good. So, once I got that progressed Sag, threshold had been reached, everything was much better. And it's not like I went from rags to riches, because I still had to pay back debts. I had to take a loan out from my parents around that time because I didn't have enough money to survive. And I had racked up like credit card debt just trying to pay my bills. So I still had to pay that stuff off, but it was like finally there was something tangible for me to work on. And I think that feeling is pretty common with progressed moon and Sag. Like once you reach it, you just get that fiery Sag energy, because Sag is a fire sign. It's mutable fire. So fire is creativity, and it's optimism. It's hope. And you don't have that when you're going through your Scorpio moon progression. You don't really have a lot of hope. You're like barely hanging on. So now you have like this desire for more. You know that you survived, and now you kind of want to thrive. Like you have a desire to expand your horizons, and there's like a sort of restlessness that comes with this progression. You might feel like like stuck inside your house. If you used to be a hermit during your Scorpio moon progression and now you're like, I want to get outside. And I had this happen majorly. I cannot stay in my house for a full day. Like if I have a day off and I have stuff to do around the house, I can't stay indoors all day. Like, I mean, I am an Aries, so, you know, I'm like action, 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 like let's go. But I can't stay indoors. I have to go out and I have to be in nature for like an hour a day, and I have to walk. Like I have to get physical activity in, or else I will not be able to sleep. I will feel like miserable and just not right the next day. It's like real for me. So that was kind of a major shift. When my Scorpio moon was over, I was like, I gotta get out. Whereas before, I was like, I don't want to go outside. I don't want to see anyone. I want to stay indoors. The other thing about having your progressed moon in Sag is that you're going to take more chances and you're going to be a little bit more adventurous. And even if you don't really have the means to go out and do stuff, like I still don't have the means to take lavish vacations or to go to the opposite end of the world just to like find out what it's like in China or India. I would love to go to Japan. Like I would love to, but I don't really have the finances for that. So instead, what I do is I'll like go on little mini trips that I can afford. Being an Aries, I like to travel by myself. I like to do a lot of things by myself. So like I'll just book a trip for myself for like an Airbnb overnight, or I'll just go to like the beach. Like I'll go to Rhode Island or something for a day or two, and just stay in like a cheap motel or something, because I just need to get out and preferably somewhere where I can be in nature. It's like a real drive for me right now. Other things you might see when your progressed moon goes into Sag is that you might start college classes or something involving higher education, because Sag rules higher education. Or you might be more involved, with religious and spirituality, religious themes and spiritual themes. So if you don't belong to a church, you might be interested in joining one. Or if you're not the church type, like I don't belong to an organized religion. I wasn't raised with organized religion. But I became much more involved in my spiritual pursuits. I'm already pretty spiritual of a person. Like I was just raised that way, and those are my interests by nature. I have like a heavy Neptune chart, so it's just like natural for me to do that stuff in my spare time. Like I listen to Abraham Hicks. I follow this channeler called Bashar, and I've been doing this stuff for years. I became very focused on it when my moon went into Sag, and it wasn't like I was hanging on for dear life like when I was in the Scorpio progression, but it was more like I wanted to listen to like audiobooks and stuff while I went out in nature, and I just wanted like my mind to be blown. That's pretty much what I do in my spare time, is like kind of go out in nature and like commune with spirits and like listen to my spiritual leaders. And something else that I started to do when I, like this year specifically, was I started to have like to get life coaches. So I've been getting coached all year. It's a good sign for mentors, either to be a mentor to someone or to get mentoring, because it's that sort of like you want to take it to the next level energy. Like you are leveling up during your progressed moon in Sag. Some things to watch out for during this lunar progression are being argumentative, because Sag loves to argue, and usually the arguments are terrible. Like if you know Sagittarius is in general, you'll know that they just love to get on a soapbox and be preachy about stuff sometimes. And I love Sages. I'm a fellow fire sign, so don't get me wrong, it's cool, but like usually their arguments are full of holes, and they just don't really, like they'll just hang on to their side just to have a debate. They can be infuriating to other people, and you might have this energy come out in you regardless of what your natural sun sign is or moon sign, because it's just that energy that you're under. You're going to be attracting more Sagittarius energy to you to balance out what's going on inside of you. So you might become like best friends with a Sagittarius or draw in more Sag energy that way. Like you might just have Sagittariuses around you more. And, you know, they love to party, they love adventures, they love sort of last minute stuff, go with the flow stuff. So this is going to be you drawing that to you, because you're going to be experiencing that inside. Like those are your needs right now, is to have this sort of, because it's a mutable sign. So like adaptability, flexibility, like where's the party at type of feeling. You might be a bit unreliable as well because Sagittarius are like notoriously flaky. So just bear in mind that you might be a little bit more flaky just because your needs are a little bit more selfish now. Fire signs tend to be a bit selfish. Yeah, you're just going to be putting yourself in like good times and good feelings first. And that's okay. Like it's your time to feel good because you came out of a really hard time. But as you get towards the end of the progression, just know that like your energy is going to be shifting towards Capricorn progressed moon, which is totally like serious and hard work and nose to the grindstone type of energy. If you want to share your experiences with Sagittarius progressed moon, or you have any questions about it, or you're just going into it, or you're just coming out of it, please leave a comment below and I will answer them whenever I can. And just a heads up that I will be doing readings again. I'm going to link my website below. I haven't set it up yet, but they are coming. And instead of doing written reports, I'll be doing video readings now. That's it, you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.